Hello and welcome to the Drum History Podcast. I'm your host, Bart Vanderzee, and today we are very fortunate to have our old friend, Mr. Eric Leiderman, back on the show. Eric, welcome back.
Bart, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be back. When I got the email/call/text, because I don't remember which one, I was thrilled that you thought of me to come back. I love this podcast, and I don't listen to podcasts or yours or anyone's, and I will tell you that I am thrilled to be here. I just don't do it, but your Graham is great. I'm so psyched. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so it's a little introduction of you. So you are a producer and you also co-run Late Night with Seth Meyers. You originally came on the show because of the kind of rotating drummer program, which you completed. It has been completed, is a good way to put it.
The thing that's funny is it's actually the opposite. I was brought onto the show to co-run the show as a producer, and the band was something that was going to be a DJ originally. And I was like, okay. And they're like, well, Leiderman, you're a music guy, right? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, you play drums? And I told them the thing like, oh, you should do the band. And then when the band became a band and not a DJ, and Fred Armisen's the band leader, and he was there doing Fred things, I was like, hey, we need a drummer each week. Why do the same drummer? I know, all drummers, and I have my endorsers. And from there, it just sort of ballooned, and they gave me, the keys to this kingdom, and I just went for it, and then it ballooned into over almost 250 drummers over 10 years. And it was great. And then budget cuts came, and the reality is music and the arts are the first thing to go, but the show goes on. It's sad, but we had 10 amazing years of elevating drummers, and I'm very proud of it. And there will be more from me in the drum world in the coming months and years. I have a lot of things in the back burner. I'm excited to share them with you and everyone, but not just yet. Good.
Yeah, not yet. Teaser there, but just Google teaser. Late Night with Seth Meyers drummer or something, or YouTube it, and you'll find a ton of them. But you have a long career producing and writing comedy. You write scripts for Stern pinball making, like the Iron Maiden pinball machine is behind you, Metallica, Rush. Yes. It's awesome. I recommend, just for the sake of time, people go listen to your other episode because you talk more about that in that episode.
Yeah, it's a lot of me talk, and we don't need that. But if you're really, we're doing this on a Sunday right now. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning. But if you need to learn more about this comedy producer who made a drum program, who writes pinball scripts and also loves dogs, his family, man, you're going to love that last episode. But I obviously was self-deprecator, but that was awesome. Bart asked great questions. He went deep. Yes, that would be nice if you checked it out. And I do not have a GoFundMe or anything, so there's nothing else. Just listen to it and help this amazing podcast out with more listens. It's so informative. So
I appreciate that. And
God bless.
And I don't know why you came to mind with this topic. You again, I like you. You're a cool guy. You're a friend. So I think this popped up in my mind of man, that would be a good idea for an episode. And you actually sent me an amazing little gift package from the Late Night with Seth Meyers drummer thing that was a little bag with a beater and all kinds of little great accessories, which I love and I use all the time. But I think you were in my mind of God, I want to do something with Eric again. So what we're talking about today, Eric, is how to pronounce certain drum brands. I've got about, I don't want to count them here. Let's say 10 or 15 of them here with various voice recordings that we're going to hear. What prompted this entire thing is, and I'm saying this with love. I'm not shaming the guy at all, but I got a comment on I forget which YouTube video. I think it might have been an Alex Van Halen gear video, but someone said, how the heck do you butcher the name Paiste so badly? It's Paiste, not Paiste. It's a pet peeve of mine. Good info, though. I think everyone at one point called it Paste or Peasty or something, but I thought, let's do something where we dig in and we actually hear from the brands and interviews and recordings how to pronounce this. I mean, and right there, I just said, we're talking about Paiste, which I'm assuming that's correct, but how do you say it? Maybe that's how we start is, how do you say it?
First of all, it's Paiste. Second of all, you can be, first of all, I just remind everyone who listens to this podcast with regularity that Bart is a good person and he's a host, and his job, he is measured. He is open to people's opinions. He has all the attributes of a great host. Someone like me, on the other hand, we're going to rip these people apart. that we're gonna eviscerate them for bringing their opinions to social media and the internet when they should be at home with their children, with their friends, and not commenting and getting into fake arguments that people hidden behind a social media handle. So that's why you thought of me, because I think you knew enough of my personality. It's like, I don't have time for this. Let's talk about the correct names. We'll get the right names, and then everyone else can go back to arguing if they want, or they can like literally rub their eyes, open their curtains, see the sun, and realize there's a lot more living and life out there than this.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. That's it. Well put. You're the pit bull. We'll let you loose on people the way they pronounce them. But there's a couple on here. There is one in particular that I know I have been pronouncing wrong on multiple episodes. It's a German drum brand name, and I think we can all guess what it is, but we'll get there. So, Eric, let's jump in. I kind of found a trick, I think. Back when I did an ad for the DRUMEO, the trick was call the voicemail, hear what they say on the phone line. So that's what I did for a lot of these, and we're going to hear them now. So let's start with Paiste, and then I've got another little one here. So this is we're going to start with, here's the voicemail of what Paiste USA says when you call them.
Hi, thank you for calling Paiste America. We are currently closed. Please leave a message, and somebody will get back to you in the next business day. Thank you.
Paiste America. So I think that's pretty clear that it's Paiste, but I've got one more. And this one is not a drummer, but I think we've all used these kind of services where you have like a word or a name and you're like, how do you pronounce that? And you search it on YouTube and someone has made a video of how to pronounce it.
Oh God, these people, what are they doing? Okay, play it, please.
Let me show you this though. Let's hear this extremely deep voiced gentleman.
Ooh.
Because he actually seems to respond in a very sharp way exactly to this YouTube comment. So you'll see what I mean here.
Paiste is how it's pronounced, not pasty.
Wow.
Paiste. Paiste. Not paste. Paiste.
Not paste.
Yes.
Not paste.
This is our guy.
This is our guy.
Who is he, though? Who is this like?
I should have written out his handle. He's deep voice guy who records, he's probably raking it in on YouTube ad revenue there.
It's a VO guy. Bless him.
He's a VO guy. That's for sure a VO guy. You can tell a voiceover artist when you've heard one. So I think we can close the book on that. It's Paiste. I'm sure you've met, people in the Paiste, like Kelly Paiste and things like that.
I'm a Paiste endorser.
You're a Paiste endorser.
2008, Andrew Shreve, and, of course, Kelly signed off on me that I was a Paiste endorser, and it was Paiste. And I don't think it is a confidence thing when people will tell you, even in person, I've had it. It's like arms crossed with all of these, but like, especially Paiste is like one that's like up there with like Neil Peart. You know what I mean? It's like, it's and everyone's like, it's this way. And the internet has created a lot of scolding. So that is like, it's a good one to start with because it's very OG and like, this is how you say it. It's like the I is silent. It's Swiss. I don't know what that means, but it's not paste. It's not paste. It is Paiste. So we have double confirmation here.
Double confirmation. All right, we're confirmed. The next one is a pretty simple one, I think, but I just thought I'd throw it in there. It is Ludwig. So, and again, if I'm saying it, that's how I say it. So if I'm wrong on some of these, but Ludwig I see is pretty straightforward, but people do say Ludwig. And I want to throw a caveat in there of we're talking about the American pronunciation of a lot of these. I do have a few we'll get to later, premier, but I'm talking about usually how it's pronounced in America, where if you're in Germany or something and you're going Ludwig, good on you.
Well, that's the thing, and it's like, here's a real question. Is it Ludwig von Beethoven? I mean, that's the thing. Like, and then I don't know if there's a correlation there. And also, full disclaimer, when Bart asked me to do this, I did not do any research or like do my own digging because do your own research is like not for me. It's for everyone else. But I will say that it's hearing it phonetically. It's being around people in this industry that I assume most people who are listening here have at varying degrees. But it's like, Ludwig, I mean, we don't have to class this up and we don't have to connect it to something, from the past that feels like, there's a deep, rich history. It's like, it's an American company. Yeah. Right. I mean,
the name has been Americanized. Yeah,
that's right. And like when you get off, when, my ancestors, went through Ellis Island, you know what I mean? Like was it Leiderman before? It means it's leather maker in Russian. and there's Polish and Russian there. But like, I think you have to like really weigh that in when these companies, most of which we're going to talk about, are assumedly American. When you come to this country, to Bart's point, you Americanize, because that's what it is. And if they were insistent and adamant about marketing it under the European or whatever other part of the world it came from, it would have stuck and it would have been insisted on by the founders. So anyone who's sitting there preaching us that it's Ludwig or Paiste, it's like, what are we doing? It's like, that's not how they wanted to do it. It's not your company, bro. It's not. It's not. It's the people who found it. You go do something else. Yep. But don't sit here and do our pronunciation. I mean, it goes back to the voicemail for Paiste. If they have some intern doing it over there, I know it's a small group of people over there, but it's like, it's not going to stand.
They correct it.
Yes. I think Kelly's going to call in and be like, oh, I heard the voicemail and it's actually Paiste. How long has this been going on? She knows. She's not.
And I have a background in recording thousands of voiceovers and doing phone systems. And I remember doing, editing like Chris Collingsworth for like, some sports thing. And it's like, you don't put up a brand name if it is incorrect, which leads me to the point too, which some of these we may hear, you may wonder, but was that AI? Was that a bot recording the voice? Ugh. Still, they would not put it up if it wasn't. But let's play Ludwig here. So this is they're not all phone systems. I should say that they're not all voicemails, but these first couple are. So let's listen to Ludwig, based in Monroe, North Carolina. Our buddy Uli Salazar, veteran of the show, and many great people at Ludwig. But so this is what happens if you pick up your phone and call Ludwig.
Press 1 for Ludwig customer service.
Beep 1. Okay, there's Ludwig. So that one, again, that's not the most controversial. That's pretty straightforward. But the next one I have it's another voicemail system, because I think this one is I said it wrong for years. Well, I had an early drum set of it, but Tama. I do think there's a bit of a Midwestern, Tama kind of thing. And I'm in the Midwest, but like it's let's play it and then discuss. So we don't muddy the water with our how we pronounce things.
Now
so
you're not calling Japan. You're calling Pennsylvania or LA.
I thought about it, and then one time I made a mistake and did a long distance call with someone about a book. And I got like $100. I got $100. I was like, oh, it's 2023 at that point. I have free. Yeah. You can call anyone in the world. No, you can't. So I called Germany and got an extremely large bill. So no, I'm calling Tama USA, which there's distribution centers. There's all this stuff. But let's just hear it. So this is Tama, distributed in USA.
For Tama drums, press 2.
Let's do it one more time.
For Tama drums, press 2.
Yeah, and I've read online. I mean, that one, I think the more you're in the drum world, and I've had people on from Tama, it is Tama. I get why people say Tama. It's Tama. But
I was recently with Sam, and he introduced me. I've met Mitch, who's AR in Japan. But at NAMM this year, they were there, and Taka, and there's a bunch of guys in from Japan who are lovely. And I was, knowing that we were doing this, I was listening, and they never said it. And I wasn't going to try to get them to say it, because I was interested to hear how they said it as native Japanese speakers, how they said it in English to another American. Not that would matter, but I was just curious. And because in conversation, those guys all speak English, but what do we do? We speak zero Japanese. Americans are useless. These guys are actually respectful and trying to
fluent. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they're trying to get it, and it's not perfect, but it's pretty amazing. And I was sort of setting them up, and I'm like, well, think about Tama, what I love, because it was Paiste, Tama, and Vader who chose to somehow endorse me in 07, 08. Yep. And I'm a lifelong Tama guy. And of course, I will say I have so many connections now with all the brands. I don't think there's a company who I associate with, certainly, who makes a bad product. They're all high quality, and they're all great people. And it has never even crossed my mind to be anything less than Tama, especially when we're talking about Tom and Rack Tom. Yeah. And Tama feels lazy to me. Tama would be someone who isn't even thinking about drums, who sees it. Yeah, because it's not Tahma phonetically is Tama, right? Yeah. So, or Toma would be Toma. So phonetically, this is another way to really break things down. Go back to Paiste. P-A-I is pi, not P or P-I-E. Are we just going to ignore the vowels here, which are the things, of course, that decide ultimately these phonetic pronunciations and have the most twists and turns, right?
Sure.
So we have to also, when we're doing this part, and everyone else who's listening, hello, we have to actually look at the letters and think about what we have learned and how in grade school and beyond of how to pronounce the alphabet and how it works. Please, everyone. Yes. So that's the other purest way we can come from this, as opposed to people like in the drum room, like, I know, or your local music store. It's like, it's this way. And now those people all online can spread tons of disinformation phonetically.
Yeah. Well, you hear something when you're younger from someone you knew, and then you start saying it that way, and then you hear it another way, and you want to kind of be like, I'm not saying it wrong, which, whatever. It's, again, I've had things that I've said, in a weird way, and then you kind of learn, and you just have to, like, pert. That's a perfect example of like, man, I said pert my whole life.
I said pert my whole life. I'm fine with that. But like, it's wrong.
It's wrong. Sometimes you got to be fine with being wrong. But the next one, this is pretty quick. Again, I think this is a voicemail message. We'll get to some other ones here in a second. But Zildjian. Okay. I get why people butcher that one or non-drummers. I mean, that is a tough word to say. And this is actually a twofer. You'll hear. Let me play it. Zildjian in Massachusetts, been an American brand for, a long time, since the 20s, I believe, is when they
moved.
Yes. So
401-year-old company, technically.
Yes.
Maybe now at this point 402. But
1624.
American, yes, American for over 100 years.
Yes. Okay. So let's hear this. This is a voicemail message. Let's see what they say.
Great.
Thank you for calling Zildjian, home of Vic Firth.
So we got Vic Firth on there as well, which I made a post on Instagram. A lot of people answered with questions. Someone said Vic Firth, which I think is a fair point. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. That's about it's a name. I mean, Vic Firth was a man.
Name. That's his name, guys. He was a real person. Let's show some respect.
Very good timpanist as well. Yes. There's an episode about Vic Firth, but Zildjian.
Yeah.
Zildjian. Son of a cymbal maker or cymbal smith or something.
The literal definition, right, in Turkish is that.
Yes. And there is a awesome episode with Paul Francis that was one of the earliest ones I did. And I just can't, that one, people listen to that. Paul's voice, I could put that on and then be like I could it would lull me to sleep. Not because it's boring, but it's just very soothing voice. But so Zildjian. I think that's pretty straightforward. That is a name. There are many Zildjians out there. Andy Zildjian runs Sabian. That's who. I mean, it's a name.
Andy Zildjian just heard that name, gave a little chuckle, shook his head, and said, "Leiderman." Talking about Sabian.
Andy is a good guy.
The best.
Now the next one. We're leaving the voicemail world here. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I believe I don't want to say pronouncing it wrong, but I've been pronouncing it the very American way. But we're talking about Trixon or Trixon. So German brand. I did an episode with Fritz Steger about the history of that. It was everyone's seen them where they're like the conical drums and they have the ones that look like they're melting. It became Vox drums in which Clyde Stubblefield played. They're very, very, very cool drums. But let's hear Steve Maxwell, legend in the drum world. Let's hear him talk about his set and how he pronounces it as an American. And then we're going to hear Fritz and his German pronunciation. So here's Steve Maxwell in NYC.
Quick panorama video of 4 incredible Trixon kits.
So I say Trixon. That was a very clear audio clip of Steve Maxwell right there.
Okay.
All right. So now let's hear Fritz talk about because he's German. This is there is a difference there. So here's Fritz talking about the brand that we're talking about.
The second strong brand was Trixon, found by Karl-Heinz Weimar in Hamburg.
Trixon.
Now
this one, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know anything about this brand. I never have heard of it. I don't know I don't know anything about it. Nothing.
Oh man.
Zero.
I'll send you the episode.
Please. I mean, because I was like, what is this? Now, when I hear Maxwell saying it, to me, it's like, that's American. But again, this is the thing, Bart. It's the vowels. You get tripped up over these vowels and they come out. And it's like, if I were German and was like, oh yeah, it's just like, it's Trixon. But also that's, they just live in the American, everything lives in the American ether also. And again, before the internet, before social media, you would see these things and it just got labeled because you're pronouncing it. Our phonetics are just, we don't skip, I think everything is very like detailed. It's like TRI, trix, and then the X, and then the O. Like you have to give it like the recognition and everything, I think the tricks, like it makes perfect European sense. And it's Trixon to me. And that's the thing. And also we heard it from the horse's mouth, let's be honest. And talk about being lulled to sleep by a calming German voice, especially from
Fritz.
Nothing I like to hear more than Leiderman.
A nice calm German voice. Oh man, Trixon though are unbelievable drums. Some of the coolest. I guarantee you've seen them. There is no other drums like them. Like you can't buy a bass drum head off the shelf. They are, if you look up a Trixon Speedfire, it is like the bass drum is melting. They're incredible. They actually released new ones under Vox drums, but
Vox being the distributor or just like a new name.
Well, they were distributed as Vox in the like 60s and 70s in the US. Maybe in the 50s. Any relation to Vox like amps? Or it's the same company. Oh, okay. Now I get it. So drums, I should have said that. So like the Vox and the AC30 and those amps and stuff, it is the same brand. But okay, so that one really didn't answer anything. If you're in America, Trixon. If you're Trixon, if you're in Germany, Trixon. So, but again, remember we have this one is different because there still are two. It's clearly Trixon if we're showing respect to the origins, but I doubt most people in the States they would say Trixon. Yeah, you know what I mean. But like Paiste, again, that's one that's Paiste everywhere. Yeah, people want to get it wrong and stand on ceremony. It's one thing, but it's like I clearly think that it's like Trixon is something that's just American. You know what I mean? Like, so all these things have variances like between them, and it's interesting to see which ones stick and which ones don't. Agreed. All right, so our next one, I don't want to say it up front because you'll hear it, and this is a brand I've never actually played. I've seen it a lot. It's a brand from Japan. It was founded in 1977 by Shinichi Usada. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Nailed it. Let me play it, and then you will hear what it is. I've got two clips. The first one is Shane Kinney from Drum Center of Portsmouth, who knows his stuff. So let's hear this one first. You'll hear the brand name right now. I just don't want to mess up the pronunciation. Here you go.
Canopus drums are handmade drums.
Canopus drums. Okay, so here's another one.
Hi, I'm Harvey Mason, and I'm with Canopus Drums.
Same. Harvey Mason. So it's the same thing. So this one, Canopus, I heard literally Mike Dawson once say it's not Canopus. Like Canopus. Canopus, right? But I think people say Canopus. It's Canopus for people kind of driving in the car. Canopus. Hold on. Pus is pronounced pus. Pus. Right? And if you add another Canopus. S, it becomes a schoolyard taunt. That's canceled. It becomes naughty. It becomes bad. So to me, do you say, are you a Canopus guy? You are, right? Let's see what Shane says.
Canopus drums are handmade drums. Canopus drums are handmade drums.
Okay, I didn't mean to play that twice. Canopus. 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 Okay. Canopus. This is a hard one. This is a brand. I know the name. I don't know anything about the drums. And founded in 1977. This is like a there you go. But Canopus is I honestly I wouldn't even thought about that. That's so funny. And it's a CAN space O apostrophe space PIS. Yep. That's the thing. Like people are making their own phonetic rules with these things, and it's making me nuts. So you know what I mean? If you're looking at it phonetically, let's just hold on for once before we move on. If you're looking at it phonetically, I want to stick to my phonetic way of Professor Phonics here. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. I would say I don't say thank you for coming to my TED Talk anymore because it's done to death. But honestly, this is a TED Talk that will never get published. So it's CANO. It could be, another thing is this. It could be CAN-O, but really it's Kano.
Because if you're looking at like Mortal Kombat, it's Kano.
Yeah.
That's C-A-N-O.
My son is obsessed with Mortal Kombat now. He's never seen it. 5-year-old can't really watch Mortal Kombat, but he likes the pictures of Scorpion.
We'll get there. Okay, so but it's C-A-N-O, or I think it's K-A-N-O for the character.
Yeah.
And that's Kano. But it's phonetically, C and K are sort of interchangeable and something like that. There's nothing before the vowel there that would like to Chano or,
Sure.
Like, so to me, why aren't we saying Canopus? Canopus. I mean, that is the phonetic. So it could be that.
You'd sound insane walking around Nam going, where's Canopus?
You're right, but also it's Nam, and I'm probably like one of the most sane people there when after I just came back the other weekend.
Yes.
And I love Nam. I'm not a Nam hater at all. I love it. I love going, but there is trauma from getting pushed into a corner, having someone tell me about what they're up to and being like, oh, I want to be on the show. I'm like, it's over. Yeah. And telling me all the brands from like, the 80s that they're still have endorsements with. And everyone's like, no, they don't.
That could be a benefit of the drummer program ending, is you don't have to then field questions about getting people on there anymore. But I'm sure
my dude, that is the only upside to that. Where it's
silver lining.
It's like an AR thing, right? Where I really relate to the AR guys because look, I always say the AR guys, everyone loves free stuff, me included. Everyone likes gear discounts, me included. Most of us love drum gear, right? But the bottom line is, you want to only work, I think, with people. They might have the best gear in the world, but if the AR guy or girl isn't cool or is taking the job too seriously or doesn't respond or is just like unpleasant in any way, just like a drummer who wants to be on the show, who has to sit with a band and do a gig for a week, I don't want to do business with them. It doesn't matter who it is. So I remember I turned down quite a few people who were legendary players, popular players, but their personalities weren't cool. And I think the same thing applies to AR and drummers who want gear and drummers who want to be on the show or want a gig out in the world. All these things are inherently on the same page.
That's a tough job because you don't want to dismiss everyone, though, because 1 out of 100 may be the absolute next, gigantic drummer, up and coming drummer. So you can't dismiss everyone.
But it's true, but I did.
You did.
A lot of people like that. That's right. I mean, that's the thing. And I think you guys, and I can tell who those people are when I'm walking around a drum thing and they're like, hey, and I'm like, dude, either a lot of times I just didn't have time to get to everyone, or it's the thing where I'm just like, dude, like, you're great, but like in this environment, it doesn't mean it works. Just like, a certain kind of endorser doesn't work for a brand for whatever aesthetic reason or image reason, personality reason. I think there's just a small bit of science that goes into this and personality disorder stuff, why it works or doesn't. So I get the other side too, but also
you're like, I got to go to the Canopus booth. I'll talk to you later.
I still like there's so many that one is problematic, interesting. It has all the attributes of a fun brand name. We covered them all.
Yeah, we covered them all. And our next one, we talked about him before, Mr. Andy Zildjian. We're going to talk about Sabian because this one is a what do you call it? Would that be an acronym? It's Sally, Billy, Andy smushed together to make the name Sabian is how that got created. Which
really, I had no idea.
Yes, Robert Zildjian. Listen to the Zildjian episode, but he split from Armin Zildjian, I believe, in the late 70s, early 80s. They could be distributed in Europe first and then came to America in like 82. Anyway, great brand. I don't think a lot of people realize that it is they're members of the Zildjian family, split off and did their own thing. Oh, yeah. There's a great episode with Andy, which was a really popular one. And there's an episode on Zildjian, but this is another voice message one. So let's call our Canadian friends here, our neighbors up north, and see what they say on their voicemail message.
Thank you for calling Sabian customer service.
That kind of sounds like a robo voice, but they wouldn't pronounce it.
There was another one, right? Another one we called
maybe Zildjian.
There was another one that was robotic. I heard before. I forgot to say. But again, they wouldn't let it stand.
They wouldn't say Sabian. Thanks for calling Sabian. It'd be no. Let's correct it and
phonetic. That's phonetic, Bart. Sabian is super. Super phonetic. Sabian.
Sabian.
You know what
I mean, honestly,
why
it's like,
not?
what would your mom say if she looked at it? Meaning, like, not your mom, anyone's mom. Like, where they're not a drummer, they just.
I swear to God, if you talk about my mom in this podcast,
if you talk about how my mom pronounces Sabian,
I swear to God, Bart, you've finally done it. You finally crossed the line.
Yeah, but like Sabian, I could see that one.
Yes, phonetically it makes sense. Again, being a stickler, SAH means Sabian.
But
and I mean,
it's
whatever.
not a word. All these aren't. They're not words.
That's we should have led with. None of these are words. Don't look these up. You're not going to look up Zildjian in the dictionary and see it next cymbal, or Tama and see finally, highly meticulously crafted drums. I mean,
yes, beautiful drums, or in Sabian's case, beautiful cymbals, which leads to my segue of this episode. They didn't pick this episode. I'm just doing this because they sent me these a long time ago, and I need to do a promotion, a sponsor. So Sabian sent me an awesome pack, a promotional pack of Sabian Stratus cymbals, which is a newer line, and they are beautiful. These cymbals, let me read a little description of what the Stratus cymbals are. So, with a full range of frequency and sonic versatility, Stratus strikes the right balance between mainstream and professional performance in a beautiful design. Crafted from B20 bronze and featuring Stratus high-impact hammering, which you can see on the cymbal here. This series features clear articulation, a warm wash, and musical spread designed for modern drummers. Take your sound to new heights with Stratus. So I actually have played this set of cymbals on my little Dixon kit I have downstairs that I play with the kids and they jump around. These are really good cymbals. I love them. I have the crash and the ride and the hi-hats. I've 2 crashes and I'm very, very impressed with them. They're affordable. You can get a whole pack of them. Love Sabian. So thank you to Sabian for sending this. I love the cymbals and thanks for sponsoring it. And Sabian, that's how you pronounce it.
It's Sabian, guys.
Yeah. And Andy Zildjian is one of the nicest guys in the world. Very down to earth.
I'll shout out. I'll do an episode on hanging with Andy. We should just do an episode on what it is to hang with Andy. And just to have him lead you by the hand. I think Andy is very good at curating meals and bringing people together, which he's always like, do you want to come to this dinner? And it's this, and he doesn't like big dinners, which is so awesome. He's like, do you want to come to this dinner with it's always like, do you want to come? There's 2 other people who I think you'll really like. And that is a social skill.
That's a skill.
I don't have.
I don't have that.
To actually say, I'd bring a large group of people together, because it's like, they're all here to celebrate me. I remember my 30th birthday was incredible. But I mean, making it just strictly conversation based with only a few people is I'm like, this is a gamble. But he did it once at Paiste and then he did it again at NAMM. And I was like, I'm in.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Very, very down to earth is how I would describe.
Also, besides that, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I will say that I noticed that he had a Sabian pinky ring the other day, or maybe it wasn't on his pinky, but I just wanted to burn him on that.
A Sabian anklet around his ankle or something, maybe.
Well, look, I didn't get there, but there's a lot of hand action and gesticulating, but we did not go. I mean, that guy could easily have an ankle monitor, and that's why he's so fun. So next to the Sabian ankle bracelet, there's an ankle monitor. Could be on the same ankle. We don't know.
Yeah, we're starting rumors here.
That's right.
It's a Sabian branded ankle monitor.
They wanted the commercial. There's the promotion.
Yeah, there it is. That's great. Yeah, you've offended the sponsor.
I helped.
Yeah. All right. So this next brand, I want to just play it because, again, it is one that we've all heard, we've all seen. Let's just play it. So this is directly from the company. I'm going to play it. I'm assuming you've heard of this brand. So here it is.
Hi, this is Todd Trent from Ty Drums, and today I want to tell you about our brand new series of drums, the Galactic Series.
So we're talking about Ty drums, Taye. Here's another one from the guys at Kickport who did this.
Hi there, Jesse Bradman with Kickport International. I want to say thank you so much to Ty Drums, especially a big shout out to Todd Trent.
Now this is one that could, Taye. Really cool drums. I've always seen them. I feel like I've played a kit or two at Guitar Center back in the day. I would have easily called this Taye.
100%.
Taye.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And that's if you would ask me, it's just like, I've never played Taye drums. It's like Ty.
I quietly say it. Yeah.
No, now you wouldn't come in with hot confidence. You're the drum history podcast guy. You can't let them know that you're unsure. You gotta be confident, even if
make
you're wrong.
them feel like they're wrong.
That's correct. That's how it works. It's tie. I always thought it was tay, and it has like the symbol that's sort of like that Y, right?
Like the moon kind of thing.
A crescent. Yeah, right.
Yep. And I believe I always thought it was a Canadian brand. It said California-based Thai drums.
Oh my God, I have no idea. I've seen them around, and I would have said tay. But honestly, the E is a thing, I guess, that makes it Thai. Or the Y. I don't know what's going on.
Well, when you search it, you get Taye Diggs. Confusion. People may be thinking Taye Diggs. Did not know he was married to Idina Menzel for 11 years.
Yeah, they're done
confused
now.
by that. They're done now. Okay, anyway, that's a different show, different topic.
Oh, you don't want to dive into Taye Diggs and Idina Menzel? Isn't it?
As John Travolta said, the wickedly talented, and then butchered her name.
Adele Dazeem. That's it.
That is still an inside joke at my family. We talk about that frequently.
Us too. I love Adele Dazeem.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
Yeah. My girlfriend does it. She goes, the wickedly talented.
The wickedly talented. Look it up.
But Bart, this is what I'm talking about. The confidence in front of a worldwide audience. He gets up there. All he has to do is introduce Idina Menzel. Okay, let's just take one beat. All he has to do is introduce her. He's like, how do you say this name? And he didn't ask. Like his actor confidence, like, I got it. And then he just went up there and he said something that phonetically was completely on another planet. And also added like that, like sexy Travolta like charm to it. That just shows you what confidence can do. Someone's like, I know it's Taye drums. Okay, it is not.
It's Taye Diggs, Thai drums, same spelling, different pronunciation. I get the confusion on that one because I think as a young boy I was also confused. I remember seeing one at Guitar Center and was like, is that Taye? Now I'm an adult, and now I know better.
Wait, hold on. Grown up. As a young boy, roaming, young Bart Vanderzee, lost in the aisles of Guitar Center, looked up. A light appeared from the window, the one window in the drum department, shining on a bass drum logo that I didn't recognize before. What was it?
A little moon.
What a
little
moment
moon on that.
What a moment for you.
What a moment. It changed my life forever. And then it came crashing down when they said, it's Thai, kid.
That's right.
Not Taye.
Your own podcast.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
Crushed it. I've crushed myself. So our next one is a global international powerhouse of a company. Motorboats, ATVs, motorcycles, pianos, drums. Sea-Doos. Really good pianos. Unbelievable. I worked at a studio that had like a $25,000, this brand piano. So what it is, and I'm just going to say, I think it's a pretty straightforward. I say Yamaha, but Yamaha, people say.
I would love to see someone Japanese and not Greg Crane. I want to see someone Japanese say the name, but I have a feeling it might be like it might speed up something. Maybe I'm not.
Yamaha. And I don't want to say it in a,
I know you don't.
Completely wrong. Or
I know you don't. I know you don't want to do it, so don't. But at the same time, we're trying to unpack things, and we're trying to do things in a way that should not be. We're really trying to get to the bottom of it. So let's not cancel us over our trying to get to the bottom. Of this phonetic conundrum.
You say it. Let's hear you say it.
Yamaha.
All right. Let's hear how they say it. I've got 3 voicemail recordings. They're short. There's like 6,000 numbers you can call.
America? Are they all American?
Yes, because I'm not paying for long seas, over the ocean calls here. So let's or long distance, as the kids call it.
No, so long seas. You were right about long seas.
Not paying for long sea calls. All right, so here's our first one. Okay. Here's our first one. This is U.S. This is not long sea calling. Here we go.
Thank you for calling Yamaha.
Yamaha.
Oh,
so she said Yamaha.
That's what I mean. The inflection is different on the second syllable.
Let's hear it again.
Thank you for calling Yamaha.
Yamaha. Okay. The third. Yamaha.
The third.
It's the third.
Here's
syllable.
Another one. I forget which I called. One was drums. One was corporate. One was, I don't know, some insane other product that they make that they do a really good job on. Everything Yamaha is pretty good. So here's another one.
Thank you for calling Yamaha Piano Service.
She got out.
Thank you for calling Yamaha Piano Service.
Yamaha.
Yeah, she got out. The first one is Yamaha, like she's falling off a cliff. And the second one was like, okay, let's go. I got a voicemail greeting to leave, and I got to get back to it. Yamaha.
Yeah,
that's it.
I have 6,000 of these to do for every division of Yamaha.
Long day.
Now, yeah, I have a third one. I forget what this one is. Let's hear this one.
Thank you for calling Yamaha Corporation of America.
That one's Yamaha.
It's Yamaha. Come on.
Yeah, and I know Jim Haler has been on and did an episode about Yamaha, and you know, it's the kind of thing where it's like you can call me whatever you want as long as you're buying products. Yep. You know what I mean? I'm sure the brand doesn't care that much, but that's an interesting word. Yamaha. I mean, it's the more you say
Yamaha.
it, the more.
But again, that's the thing that's so crazy about this. Like we're basing it off like someone leaving a voicemail just for this particular one, but also like when we've heard it several times around people who work for the company, it's like it would have stuck if we heard a certain way. But I think it's amazing that she just got a little carried away. But I'm also weighing her concern. I still feel like there are three things here that are all inflection based and not phonetic based. Yeah. So we're talking about just how it rolls off the tongue of seemingly all these people are American, native English speakers. So it's like when we're talking historically about like how you say it from an American perspective, people are just like maybe, you know, adding a little bit of variety to where the inflection or where the accents are on particular syllables, which is mildly interesting, I would say.
I would say very, very mildly interesting.
Yes,
extremely mildly interesting. But you know, another one,
niche, just like this episode, niche.
Yeah, about as specific as you can get. But this
is not one. Niche. It's not niche.
It's not niche. I say niche. I'm talking to someone. I go niche. I kind of cover my bases.
Good for you to say it twice in a conversation. Like it's niche or niche. Like, just want to be clear. I'm open to both in the middle of a conversation.
I don't want to offend you.
That's right.
I say, I used to have a Yamaha. I briefly had a Yamaha motorcycle that I got for like $600. Whoa. Rode it for a little bit, needed some work, sold it. That was kind of how I operated.
Before you had kids.
Before I had kids.
That's correct.
I would buy them for cheap. I know nothing about fixing them, so I'd sell them at the point of any issues. But drums, motorcycles, I would call them, and I think other people do, Yammy for short.
That's crazy. Where's that coming from? Where's that coming from?
I think I heard someone say it. Got a set of Yammies, or I'm going to go ride my Yammy.
That is that is like Midwest. That is Midwest.
That's Midwest.
Yeah, we got to get our Yammies, and it's like sort of cute, and it's wholesome, and it is. We are taking the A to a territory where we have not heard it in any of our prior discussion of this brand. So you're wild. Yammies. Yeah. That's like I got to put on like my jammies, like my pajamas. I gotta go. It's very cute. It's too cute.
But what about like that Yammy rips when you're talking about you're at a dirt track riding a motorcycle? That's not so cute.
Dude, call it Yama. They do that Yama rips.
That Yama.
Yammy. This is our first real point of contention. Yammy.
Are you talking about yams? You talking about sweet potatoes here? I don't know.
It sounds like if like Yammies was like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's like Snorks or Care Bears or yes. It's very cute. You really dressed it up in a lot of fuzz and stuffed cotton and made it real huggable.
Yeah. So. I love my mommy. Can I get a new Yammy?
I don't know. Can you? I mean, have you done your chores? Were we factoring in your allowance? Like, I don't know.
Did you say no? You were bad. You didn't eat your dinner.
That's
you
correct.
Don't get any Yammies.
That's correct.
All right.
You're going to get the belt. You're going to get the belt instead.
Yeah.
The belt
Yammy's going to
spread
like,
you could say that.
Yeah, the belt and beating. We do not condone that here on the podcast.
No,
hitting your children with belts.
Sorry.
The next one is pretty straightforward. It's a last name, New York brand. Lots of Freds in this company,
Ooh.
Multiple Freds. So let's hear how they say it, and then we'll talk about it. So here you go.
Thank you for calling the Gretsch Company.
Gretsch. That seems pretty straightforward.
This
Someone put it on the list.
This one, but I want to know. See, that's the thing. Like all these ones that are on the list, you obviously have them on the list because there's some, and again, small amount of people, if not just one person, who throws a wrench in. Also, maybe just to steal like a Seth Meyers thing, a jackal. Someone just trying to like be contrary or point out something that is their truth and isn't their truth, and trying to fact check us in a way that isn't correct, but they think is correct. It's Gretsch. What do you mean?
Gretsch.
One E? Or like, I don't even know what else is it? Gretsch or what's the other?
there's a woman who had a video on YouTube that was like how to pronounce drum brands. And I was like, oh, great. She did it. But it was different. It was like kind of short. And I don't actually know if she was a drummer, but she said she pronounced it, I think wrong in the video, ironically, but she said Gretsch. Gretsch.
Wait, Gretsch.
There's a T. Gretsch.
And that's where it goes to Gretsch. Because if it was Gretch, then you're talking about a harder landing with those consonants. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Gretsch.
or if there was no T, it could be Gretsch.
Yeah. Get rid of the T. It's and then it's Gretsch, no question.
But at this point, we're creating new words and we're taking letters out and we're just confusing things. So it's Gretsch.
It's Gretsch. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Enough.
Yeah. The next one is one that I have pronounced wrong the entire time. It's something to be said about like literally the way your mouth works as an American, where like you can't say certain words a certain way, or like my brain just doesn't work that way. So this is the very famous German brand. I'm going to play it on here. This is from the Drum for the Song podcast with Dane Campbell. I found he had a clip talking directly about this. So let me play it and then you'll hear what it is. And it's with a representative from the brand. You'll hear his name. Let's check it out.
Well, we always say Sonor because, like the German way. And I've fallen into that state if I'm talking to somebody from America, or, in English, I just say sonar.
Sonar,
yeah. But it's not sonar. That's different.
I know, yeah, because I hear a lot of people say, it sounds like SONAR, which is a different word. I think the Americans are guilty of that, I think, more than anyone else, from what I've heard anyway.
Oh, God, guilty.
I don't know. I've always thought it's like so sonor.
Oh, yes, right.
Yes. And not son. So not son, sonor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those stretched kind of.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. That's good. Good to confirm that.
Okay, so that was a long clip, but I thought it was valid, and that is Thomas Barth from Sonor saying that.
Oh, come on.
I have said sonar my entire life, and I think it's wrong. I mean, I know it's wrong, but what do you say?
I say sonar, but at the same time, we have I think we have 3 to 4 different options here. You know what I mean? Like, I agree. Sonar, and it's lazy because we know sonar is like
the beeps and the.
We're talking about a way that some marine mammals communicate. We're talking about the way ships communicate.
Yeah.
And that is sound bouncing off objects to track. I'm so smart telling everyone all this. I just want everyone to know I know what sonar is. Sonar technology.
I did a motion like this and said the beeps, but you've cleared it up a lot better.
Yes. I'm so glad I to get on the same page with our
marine
listeners. Marine mammals like dolphins. How they click and whales, how they communicate. Yes, anything else? But again, I think so. Let's talk about it. Sonor, Jesus. And then what's your Sonor,
Sonor.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of like hanging out on the end of it. And also, it's an O. So, okay, we're guilty of it. Okay, sure. But also here's that thing again where there's European countries who say it away and then they come over and they Americanize it for the market or whatnot. But it's like, I don't know. They could be sticklers about it and like correct everyone all the time. And maybe if they would have done that due diligence, it would have stuck and we would have known. But yeah, I mean, sonar is technically wrong. Sonar.
Yeah.
Sonar. That's what it's sonar.
Sonar.
SONE, like pronounce SONER. Sonar. Because that way you're doing what you do with traction. Was it traction? Is that the one we said?
Trixon.
Trixon. Sorry. See, I didn't know it. Trixon. And then they sort of blow past that. Oh, sonar.
Trixon. Which he specifically said it's not sonar. It's not what I've been saying for 6+ years of doing, 6 years of doing the show and my entire life. It's not sonar. Sonar to me is like really what it is. Everything else feels like indulgent. Sonor. It's like, sounds like snore. It's just like sonar. Let's get to it and talk about the drums. Sonar is dumb American pronunciation, but it's like, okay. And if you hear it in a sentence, to me saying as an American, Sonor, it'd be like, yeah, man, I got this unbelievable set of Sonors. Yeah. It's like it doesn't flow.
No, and it's also a little haughty. Sonor. It's a little. We're trying to lipstick. We're trying to lipstick a beautiful pig here. Is what we're saying.
Yeah, Sonors are great drum brands. I'm probably going to keep saying Sonor for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I don't have time to switch this now. It's too late for me and for you.
I like how we're telling everyone else.
Yeah, listen up. We got an announcement.
Yeah, it's not Paiste, but we're going to be wrong about this and continue. But we heard it from Thomas Barth from Sonor.
Thank you, Thomas, for clarifying. We just want the correct information.
Yeah, Sonor. Yeah, great drums, beautiful drums, really cool history. I've never done a company history on them. They're hard to track down. COVID hit, it's been a problem, but we'll get them on, and I should probably pronounce it right when I get that. Because Germans can be sticklers about pronunciation. So actually, on that note, our next one is a German cymbal maker.
Ooh.
Let's hear this one. I think this one's very, very popular cymbals. Let's hear it, and then we'll talk about it.
Thank you for calling Meinl USA.
Meinl.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear it again.
Thank you for calling Meinl USA.
I totally Meinl. Totally get it. Again, your friend comes over. I like your Meinls or your Meinl.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. MEIN, and then there's nothing though between that N and that L. So I think if you're like younger, I think it's like I look at it and I don't think I've ever thought it was anything else besides Meinl. I don't know why. Now and technically it should, if I MIENL, it would actually lend itself more because it could be Meinl, or because it's like LI creates the I in the forefront of the pronunciation, right? So it's like Meinl, but really Meinl here is not crazy to think. But again, you have to have some familiarity with German pronunciation, at least to understand that what do you do when there's two consonants back to back that aren't separated by a vowel? It's like Meinl,
Meinl, yeah.
Meinl. I mean, that's what it is, but I don't know.
Everyone in Germany just went, oh.
That's fine. You're getting the press and pub you wanted.
Yeah. You take your Sonors and play some Meinls.
What was the other German one?
Trixon.
Yeah. Trixon. Which one of those does not sound German, really? Because which one's from New Jersey? Trixon.
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 Anyway, and then Meinl, someone made the comment, and I could not find a clip of a pronunciation, but the Byzance series.
Byzance. Yeah, that's how it's.
I get though where people are like, hey, that's an interesting one to talk about. I think that's kind of phonetic. Byzance. Okay.
What else do you have?
Shutting everyone down.
Because ZANC is dance.
Yeah.
Zance. BY. It's very by the book. What else are people saying out there, Bart? What else are people saying with this one? Because I got news for you. There's nothing else, but go ahead.
There's nothing else. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
People were wrong to even ask that one.
That's correct.
Now, the next one, the last one I have is a very much, this is like, there's some words that you say different in England and America. And this is one that is exactly that. So let's listen to this one. I'm trying to remember who. Okay, this is Shane Kinney again, who has tons of great videos. Let's hear how Shane pronounces this brand, which we talked about in the Nico McBrain episode. Another one. I always said Nico. It's Nico. So here we go. Let's listen to this. This is the American pronunciation.
The relaunch of Premier Drums at the 2013 NAMM show was really one of the most exciting moments for me because I'm a huge fan of the brand.
Premier. It's how Americans say it. Let's hear the British pronunciation with a gentleman named Laurie. Let's hear this.
Hi, I'm Laurie, and today we're going to be looking at some awesome Premier drum kits.
Premier.
So annoying. They're so annoying. Come on.
It is a British brand, so we got to give them that. But we say Premier, they say Premier, or the French more sounding pronunciation, Premier.
Premier, that's right. Okay, but it's a British company, right?
It's a British company.
Okay, so we have to respect that. As difficult as that may be. And so Prem again, if there was an E on the end of it, it's Premier. There is not. So to be fair, I think they have full license to be phonetically correct. And of course, as I said, it's the origin starts with the British.
Yep.
So I think this is one where like we should, it's like, it should be Premier, but like we don't have, there's no chance for Americans to do it. And there's no hyphen inserted anywhere. I mean, I've always said Premier. I had a Premier kit in college with like really like small, like short depth sizes, like on my racks and my floor. Because I thought I was like, I don't know what I thought I was, but it wasn't great.
We all had a period of like, I remember seeing Brain's Lessons, the VHS tape, and being like, he had little pancake drums, and I was like, God, I want that.
I think it was 311 stuff too for me, where it was like Chad Sexton, and I don't even know if that's what his depths were, but it was like having that row of toms.
Super cool.
I couldn't afford the third rack, but I remember I had like these fusion sizes. Yeah. And that's the one kit I wish I still had. I think about all the kits I had, and I sold it back to West Music, I think, in Iowa City. And there's a guy who works for Pearl now, Sean LaFrenz, I think. Okay. And he is the one who was like my guy. And now he's a Pearl. And I think I saw him a couple years ago, and he's like, what are you doing? And I sort of told him, and I don't know if he was impressed or not, or just thought it was cool to have the reconnection from, this is a kid who used to buy drums from me in the middle of Iowa. But that he made it, like whatever. I mean, who's made it? But I will say, just a full circle stuff, right? And that kit though, hand painted lacquer, and it was blue, and I remember it was like the top of what I could afford. But he talked me into getting it, and it was always Premier. Yeah. There was never even a thought of it. I think maybe years later, until I spent a lot of time in England, and it was always like, and Nico too played. Yeah. Oh yeah. Played Premier, and but Premier, I got to give it to him. Is like eye rolls me. I'm like, so we're gonna connect those four letters. Prem.
Yeah, I could see you talking to the brand, and they say it, and you're like, ugh.
Oh, that's I'm like, okay. Well, no, I mean, of course, I'm laying it on thick here, but also remember, Prem versus Pre. When you see PRE together, you think Pre as opposed to Prem. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not Prem. Yeah. It's so. Why would I put those together? But
not a Pram, not a little baby. A Pram. As
right,
in England, a baby
it's a
pushing,
pram.
A baby pushing apparatus.
They would call it a Pram for sure.
Yeah, they call it a Pram.
So I would vote that we give them this one. I mean, I don't know like where we're landing on these, but I think Premier is totally reasonable, simply because there's no E on the end.
Premier versus Premier.
Premier.
Yeah. Premier.
Premier is Premier. We're doing it wrong. Americans are doing it wrong, because if there's an E on it, then we would have full license. If they said, it's Premier, but I go, but there's an E on the end. There isn't. There's just an R on the end. And Premier to me is totally legal. And the fact that it's their origin, I'll give them this one. I don't want to, but I will.
They've been waiting hundreds of years
to
get this confirmation from
endorsement.
You.
That's right.
This endorsement.
What an endorsement.
Finally. And that's the great that's a great one to end on here. So let me say that I think this has been great. I think you knew more about using big vocabulary words that I didn't even think about you using, such as, a lot of phonetic things. So I'm impressed by your knowledge.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You doing that. I think we solved pretty much nothing, but I think people might have a better understanding of what voicemail messages sound like at their favorite brands. So we did that.
I wouldn't diminish it. I think there is sort of a, people can sort of hide behind the socials now and be like, hey, dummy. And then it's just like, that's everything. And it's just like, everyone has like that faux social media confidence, but it's like, let's just talk about what it is. Let's show some respect to the origins and the Americanization and, coming over on our little Mayflowers of commerce and having things change and running through immigration and, changing your names to be less European, for my family, like, I know lots of other Jews who like would change their name to be less Jewish and fit in. Because everyone wants to fit in a little bit more. It's just like Leiderman. If there's a lot of LIEs out there, and it's Leiderman, and mine is LEI. We didn't change our name from what I recall, but there's a lot of people who change just to make it easier to pronounce. But it's so interesting to think when they got to Ellis Island, it was because whoever was waiting for them on the other end to process people in, just like with these companies, it's like, how do we make this in a way that is easier and more Americanized so more people understand it, be less threatened by whatever it is, and honestly have it just be simply more accessible, whether it's a person or a brand, is something that transcends, being human, and especially in the American experience, which is like the juggernaut of capitalism and blah, blah, blah. But I think these are things that sort of resonate and are actually very interesting, and sort of relate back to as humans, our migration process and how that ties into capitalism and commerce. So I think it's a very interesting idea, and I was very, very pleased to be included in this. And I hope we broke new ground and clarified everything, so now everyone can go about their day and feel much lighter in knowing how it works.
Yes, they can be fresh, and even if you've been like, I'm going to go walk around all day going Sonor, Sonor,
never.
Like in the back of my mind.
Don't Premier you brought into this. That's outrageous.
We'll throw that one away.
The French. Don't bring we haven't said one thing about the French in this whole thing. Gojira. There you go.
That's interesting. Speaking of French, there's ASBA drums, which created the Caroline pedal, which turned into a Ludwig pedal, and that's another discussion. But anyway, there's a history of ASBA drums, and I think if you use acronym style letters in your name, you're kind of opening yourself up for a little bit of mispronunciation or confusion, but they're beautiful drums, and they're great. But I think we should ask people to comment names that maybe they've mispronounced or other people mispronounce, or
see if there's a part 2 here. Like if there's a part 2 here, or if people want to weigh in. Also, like, I'll debate someone on this. Like, let's go. It's just this is
meet Eric in the comments section.
Yeah, see me there, but also see me like live. I don't want to get like in reply wars. Like, my big thing, by the way, is like I rarely ever leave comments that people could like start getting into an argument about, because I don't have the bandwidth or the energy or the patience to argue with people and see if they respond. And I think a lot of people thrive on that, but like in person is different.
Yeah,
in person is absolutely different. So
more human.
Yeah, that's correct. We need more of that.
We do. Anyway, Eric, so I cut you off before. What do you got going on? Where can people find you on social media? You're working on pinball machines. You're working on Seth Meyers. You're doing all kinds of stuff. What's going on?
If you like completely average content that is posted sporadically and only in rare spurts of creativity do I post something of interest, and even a dash of politics, and then immediate regret after I post, because again, let's just talk about it in person. Please follow me at ERX11, and I will see you there, and then hem and haw over if I don't know you, if I should add you, because if I can look at your page and see something that I find offensive, I will not add you. And also, I don't care if you add me, but at the same time, if you like schnauzers and drums and comedy and pinball and seeing me doing things without me in the frame most of the time, you should really add me to your algorithm. You'll have zero opinion on it either way. So see you over there. See you over there.
If you're a schnauzer fan, then he's your guy.
2 schnauzers, bro.
He's a schnauzerman, double schnauzer.
That's the best thing out of Germany. Yeah, that's not Sonor. Like they can pitch me all they want on Germany, but it's schnauzer's the best. That's the best product that's ever come out of that country.
That's great. That's good. Good endorsement of Germany there. So
thank you.
All right, Eric. Well, appreciate you being here, man. We'll have you on back another time down the road, but good luck with everything. Congratulations on such a successful run of the drummer program. I mean, you did it.
Thanks, buddy.
It was great. Budget cuts happen, but you got a very good run. So appreciate you being here. Thanks to everyone listening. If you want to help out the show, join Patreon. There's a link in the description. So Eric, thank you for being here, my friend.
Bart, my dude. See you soon. Thanks again.